Joining me now, Republican from Florida's 1st District, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, thanks for being here, sir.
Good to be back on, Liz.
All right, Congressman, maybe I should up this grade to a B+, just given the fact that you can fill out your taxes on a postcard. None of that paperwork, hopefully none of the software that you have to pay for. But what do you think of this, sir? Is this a conservative tax reform plan?
This really is a conservative plan that will lower taxes for all Americans. Keep in mind, Liz, that a lot of our top earners end up paying the death tax, and we are set to murder the death tax over the next 6 years by phasing it out. And so that's an exciting way for us to ensure that the American dream is fulfilled by the next generation. We're also going to lower the corporate tax rate, and that not only helps top earners, it helps job creation and wage growth. It'll bring money that's currently overseas back into the American economy so that we can really rescue the American people who've been trapped in the Obama economy for the last 8 years.
All right, well, address this for me. And I want to show this graphic on the screen. This is from the House Ways and Means Committee. This is the new tax brackets and how they line up with the income, as you can see on the screen. So there are actually two brackets here that would cause certain Americans of certain income levels, their taxes to go up. That is the lowest income level. It is raised from 10% to 12%. And then the third one, 35%. If a married couple files jointly and their income together is over $416,000, their rate goes up from 33% to 35%. Congressman, are those people still going to be paying a smaller amount of taxes with this new plan, given the other structural changes?
They absolutely will be paying less taxes, Liz. Every American will be paying less taxes because we're doubling the standard deduction. So that's going to ensure that the first income that people get in their paycheck will be more likely to be untaxed. And so a lot of folks who are paying 10% now will actually pay nothing in taxes, and we won't see rates go up on those folks. And so this simplicity of doubling the standard deduction, allowing 9 out of every 10 Americans to be able to fill out their taxes on a postcard, will yield a system that is more fair, that is easier to comply with, and that's something that will be good for the overall health of the American economy.
Right, I hope so. So my other concern here is the elimination of the state income tax deduction. Now, I know that's going to hit those of us in very, very blue states the hardest. I'm in California. It's also going to hit people in Illinois, New Jersey, New York. That's going to make it very difficult for them because our state income taxes are outrageous here. What do you expect to happen with that? I mean, as we sit right now, if this bill is passed in the form that it was introduced, my taxes go up.
Well, I'm a Floridian, and we've got the lowest per capita state taxes in America. And frankly, my constituents are tired of subsidizing the deductions that are taken by Californians and New Yorkers and folks in New Jersey and Illinois. And so I think this is yet another mechanism for us to make sure that the tax code is a lot more fair for people. And look, for states like California that have got real high taxes, the message is clear. You need to cut taxes. You need to join us in this endeavor to rescue the American economy and ensure rising wages and better jobs for the American people. And I think that this Trump tax cut will put a lot of pressure on high-tax states to get in line, cut their taxes, and put money back into the pockets of the American people.
Right, and listen, I liked your argument on the elimination of the state income tax deduction the last time we spoke. I think it was early last week, because you're right, it does seem like, while I don't want to sit here and pay more taxes, it does seem like states like Florida and Texas are taking the hit for the irresponsible financial behavior of really liberal states. So maybe it'll send a message to liberals on the coast: when you vote for these people, when you vote progressives into your state legislatures, this is what you get, and it's time you start recognizing that and feeling the pain from it. Congressman Gaetz, let me ask you about the estate tax. So this is a little confusing to some people. I've been reading on Twitter, on Facebook, to get an idea of the reaction from the American people here, and it seems like a lot of people don't understand when that's going to be eliminated and how it's going to be phased out.
Well, here's the easy math for folks. After 6 years, we murder the death tax. The death tax goes away completely, and immediately we double the exemption so that a family farm or a small business that's being passed from one generation to the next will have even more capacity, even more room to transfer those assets and not have the government take a big bite out of them. This is critically important. We want to incentivize people to build strong businesses and pass them along to their families, and we want to make sure that family farms can actually stay family farms. The death tax has been very predatory to small businesses, and so I think we really move in the right direction by doubling the amount of money that can be passed from one generation to the next. And then after 6 years, the death tax goes away forever, and that's the right outcome.
Right, and it goes down from 40% to 0%. If it is as predatory as you say, and I agree with you 100%, it is a complete ripoff to have to pay that amount of taxes. Why wait 6 years? Why not put this in? Why not kick this in immediately?
Well, there are some elements of the tax code that simply require a phase-in. There are other elements of the bill that will ramp up and ramp down at certain points in time, and this allows us to be able to accurately project revenue that we're going to be able to need. But more importantly, we set the standard that the death tax has to go away, and between now and then, it's not as if we're doing nothing for 6 years. We're doubling the amount of money that can be passed from one generation to the next tax-free, and that's really a step in the right direction. So for 6 years, it's a pretty good deal to be able to eliminate the death tax. We've been trying to eliminate the death tax for a generation in Washington. Finally, we've got the political will to get it done.
Right, I certainly hope so. All right, last question, Congressman. The name of this bill officially is the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Why didn't you guys name it the Cut Act like President Trump suggested?
I thought that would have been fantastic, but I don't get into the naming of the bills. I'm more interested in the substance, and the substance of this legislation absolutely will cut taxes for every American, revitalize the American economy, lead to higher wages, more earning potential, more investor confidence, more consumer confidence. I just can't wait to get it done and see the American economy take off.
You and me both, sir. Congressman Gaetz, thank you so much for being on the show. It is always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Liz.